Hello and welcome to Cardiff News Plus. My name is Priyanka Sharma. The campaign against modern-day slavery, Stand for Freedom, has arrived in Cardiff. More than 20 volunteers from different countries have been taking part. They aim to collect signatures for a petition and raise awareness about trafficking in humans. Sophia Shang reports.
I stand for freedom.
Estoy representando la libertad.
自由のために立つ
Stand for Freiheit.
Stás pentru justiție
为自由挺身而出
Je représente la liberté.
There is a hidden plague of violence which traps nearly 30 million in slavery. Organized by International Justice Mission, volunteers will stop at nothing to make sure they got their message across. They wanted people to sign their petition to pressure the British government to take action against the human trafficking. Jason Bushell is the organizer.
I taught slavery to thousands of students over the years, and always in the sense that, well, slavery happened 200-300 years ago, but thankfully it was abolished a long time ago, and we're much better now. And then just recently, in the last 2 or 3 years, I realised how ignorant I had not been paying attention. In fact, we're living in a world now where there are far more slaves than ever in the past.
It is the first time this global activity came to Cardiff. Volunteers from different countries and universities get together to support. Abigail is one of them.
Although people don't really come to us, but it's nice that a lot of people are actually very interested to know what is Stand for Freedom. And I'm very happy that a lot of people are actually willing to stop by and to ask what are those signs, what does Stand for Freedom means.
According to International Justice Mission, the war on modern-day slavery is becoming a rising genre in Wales. The event attracted not only student but also public sections.
One of the real big issues we have, and human trafficking is fairly new to law enforcement, I have to say, and we're probably where we were maybe 10 years ago with investigating incidents of domestic violence, for instance. We weren't so good years ago with dealing with people being abused in a domestic situation. We've come on leaps and bounds in the last few years, and we need to get to the same place with human trafficking as we do with domestic violence.
There are hundreds of university camps in the US where the movement started, while UK still have a long way to go. IJM wants to make breakthrough in Wales and encourage passionate college students to raise awareness for the millions trapped in slavery.
A Swansea father has told a Cardiff Business Conference how Facebook and Twitter transformed his disabled son's life. He was speaking at a conference organised by the Welsh Government aimed at showing how social media can help business. Kavya Nath reports.
Mo Syed is promoting the For Luca campaign, which tells the story of his son Luca, who suffered from meningitis and almost died. The aim of this campaign is to create awareness about meningitis and raise funds for Luca to have the best available prosthetic legs in the future.
The biggest part of his campaign is that it actually went across social media. But then as people bought into the story and bought into him as a person, they then shared it across the globe through Twitter to LA, to Dubai, to Australia, all around the world. We never would have been able to reach that far.
On the business side of the conference, people through masterclasses and keynotes were taught how to make their businesses better through social media.
So I'm here really for a little bit of inspiration to see what the future holds and to see what other people are up to, see if we're benchmarking ourselves against the best.
We work in traditional media and we use Hootsuite Enterprise. So it was good to look at how they how they're thinking about social listening and the future of that, and that's how 2014 is going to be.
The masterclass today, it was very interesting to hear about the fact that storytelling can have such a powerful impact through social media.
One of the speakers at the conference was David Hyatt, who spoke about how social media was the main ingredient in promoting his business.
How important is oxygen to human beings? Right now, to a small company, social media is the same. It's incredibly important, and we couldn't do our business without social media.
Social media is the future for marketing businesses, as it is one of the greatest phenomenon of the 21st century.
A scheme designed to make houses more energy efficient has been giving out regional prizes to individuals and companies in Wales. There were many experts gathering together to discuss the challenges and future of the scheme. Ashley Tung reports.
We set these events up basically around the country.
The government launched the Green Deal and Eco Scheme in 2013 to help tackle fuel poverty across the UK. The award is to recognise the people and companies at the forefront of this effort. Pure Heating Solutions, a company based in Cardiff, is one winner. They install energy-efficient boilers that are made in the UK.
We're looking on going into, renewables, which will be things like solar, things which use wind, the sun's energy, and things like that to provide. With the solar panel, if you put solar heating on your house, you actually get rebates at the end of the year. And you imagine being an old age pensioner getting maybe a £500 cheque.
More than 50,000 homes have been improved under the scheme, and that means 15,000 lower energy bills. The energy industry says it's doing everything it can to encourage innovation. Surge Energy Solutions, based in South Wales, is a runner-up.
What we are seeing is a few challenges in the industry in the short term, in the sense that funding levels have dropped. So there is a drive to look at innovation coming through, both in terms of the systems that are available for installers like us to put on the walls, and also look at the cost components of the systems to drive those down, and better ways of actually doing the work.
There are lots of technological improvements happening across the UK, but some people believe they aren't making it through to the housing stock. Gary Braybrook is one of the organisers of the awards.
One of the main things is awareness, and we try and do the awareness where maybe government should do more. We feel that government doesn't do enough. There's not enough people with enough knowledge to actually move this forward fast enough at the moment, so we need more awareness.
The organisers of the scheme and the awards ceremony hope more people will make more efforts to save energy.
Some of the best contemporary authors and illustrators in Wales have been meeting their readers today. The Cardiff Children's Literature Festival is organised by City Council. Lena Tong reports.
Besides parents, books seem to be a second teacher for children, and they enable them to become explorers, both of themselves and the wider world.
At home, we are buy to him many books. It's contain it's lovely character in cartoons characters. I want him to learn how to behave, very good behavior. So I told him what I want to told him by these characters. I told him that he's behave good, and he's eating good, and he's drink milk, and I prefer to buy books contain this information.
Hello, I'm in Cardiff Central Library now. Behind me, there are some paintings, stories, poetry and prose created by Cardiff children. This exhibition is part of Cardiff Children's Literature Festival this year. Apart from this, youngsters have a chance to meet the best local and national authors and illustrators in the event. According to organizer Hels Brown, more events are planned with primary school children from across Cardiff and the surrounding areas, taking part in various events. She says children's literature has never been so vibrant, prominent or exciting, and should be celebrated and encouraged.
It's important for Cardiff Council to encourage children to read. Literacy is something that the council is keen to grow within the city, so encouraging children to read, and by encouraging them to come to events like this, to bring them face to face with their heroes, so illustrators, authors that they've just seen in a book. If you can see that person in real life, it gives you much more passion for those books. It makes you more likely to go and read more of their books.
It is not just for kids. Parents and prospective authors can interact with some of the most creative minds in children's books. David Root from Bulletin University is an expert on children's literature. He's not against children watching TV or playing video games, but says books are still the best way to develop a child's imagination.
And I think they're probably better at letting the child explore things imaginatively.
in that as they read the story, it's sort of they're having to visualise it themselves in their head, say unlike TV or film where it's out there and you can see what a character looks like. They have to put together from the words how they see a character. So I think books do offer something that's a bit special.
The story of Cardiff Literature Festival will not be ended until late April.
Thousands of students have flocked to Cardiff city centre to watch the Welsh varsity. It's a competition between two of the biggest rugby rivals, Cardiff and Swansea universities. Around 13,000 people attended the game. It was tight, but Swansea eventually came out on top by 19 points to 15. Cardiff's Athletic Union president was upbeat despite the defeat.
It was a shame that we lost, but obviously we were quite heavy underdogs, so I think everyone at the stadium, and myself included, were really proud of how the guys played yesterday. They really showed that even despite being underdogs, that they still took it to Swansea and they gave it their all. Just a shame about the end result, really.
People from all over the UK have crafted 6,000 pom-poms of all colours and materials to build a giant piece of art. It's called the Tapestry of Touch, and it's been touring the UK to raise awareness of people who suffer both from sight and hearing loss. This week, it's arrived at the Gate Arts Centre in Cardiff. Petra Kovacevic reports.
Up here, that big one is made by somebody who's run the marathon for Sense for like 15 years. And it's all the t-shirts that they've used to run the marathon.
1,000 hands made each of these pom-poms from wool, string, plastic and all other kinds of unusual material. The idea was developed by a charity called Sense, which wants people to explore art as those who can't experience the world other than through touch.
It's just such a great way to engage people, to move from the functional of being without your senses to the actual creative process and creating something yourself. So pom-poms just seemed like a great way to go. Everybody remembers how to do it from when they were younger. They look great, they can be made out of anything, they're easy to do. Anyone from 2 years old right up to 90 years old can do it, and we had people of both those ages.
Visitors were encouraged to shut down their senses and rely only on touch. By putting their hands on the tapestry and feeling the textures with their fingers, they were able to feel the world as deafblind people do. Deafblindness affects a person's ability to communicate and move around safely. Sense has been helping these people for 50 years to become independent individuals, study and develop their talents. Michael has been helping deafblind people in Wales for over 20 years, inspired by his own hearing difficulty.
My hearing loss wasn't identified until I was 14, but then it sort of made sense for sort of things that I'd missed out on. But as I say, I didn't realise that I wasn't hearing as I should have been.
There are 250,000 deafblind people in the UK, of which 30,000 were born with this condition. Some of the visitors at the exhibition have encountered them in their lives.
And it's something I remember happening, having my face touched and thinking, that feels quite an intrusive thing for a stranger to do.
Their perception of the world was really different than mine. Obviously, stuff that I noticed, they didn't.
But for a deaf-blind person, that is their version of seeing you and hearing your voice, isn't it? So that's a leap a lot of people probably have to make.
It was as though we were in different places, even though we were at the same place at the same time.
The pom-poms will be in Cardiff until next Wednesday and then continue their tour over 5 more cities, with London as their last stop.
That's it from us. From everybody on the Cardiff News Plus team, thanks very much for watching. We'll see you again soon.